Hey guys, got some great news for my fellow Trump supporters. But first, um, I know I get a lot of critics that watch, um, and I welcome you guys. I honestly welcome all you guys. Really, put in the comments where you disagree, uh, because I know I could be wrong. I don't think I'm wrong. That's why I'm making this video, but I could be wrong. So I will listen, I will read your comments. But I can tell when you haven't watched the video or you really wasn't paying attention when you make a comment that I've addressed already. So please watch the whole video and know, just like I could be wrong, you could be wrong. So listen, like St. Thomas Aquinas taught, the best way to beat your opponent's argument is to understand his strongest argument and attack that argument. So I'm going to start off, before I get to the great news for us Trump supporters, I'm just going to address some of my critics and let you understand why we're Trump supporters and why we don't trust the Biden regime and the weaponized DOJ and FBI. As I heard someone say, FBI now, a former FBI agent, no less, I can't recall his name, actually said the FBI nowadays stands for forget basic integrity. And I'm going to tell you why we believe this. So, first off, a lot of guys on my side don't understand why Trump didn't clear out the swamp from day one. Trump was not a politician. Trump was a businessman, so he understood the swampy business money dealings. He knew in New York City you had to pay off all the Democrats, Schumer, all those guys in New York to get anything done. He understood. And he understood all their trade deals, the freaking, I forget the Canadian trade deal that Clinton signed and all the Republicans backed him for it, North Atlantic trade deal or something, I don't know. He knew they sold out jobs to Mexico. He knew all the deals the Republicans and the Democrats were making together, were selling out deals to China. He knew all this. So that's the swamp he was going after. But then when he realized that the intelligence agencies were dishonest, the higher echelons, and they were actually spying on him, he went after them. But he wasn't prepared for what they had in store for him. Even Chuck Schumer, who's been in the swamp 50 years, he laughed and he said, Trump is making a big mistake. The intelligence community will get you 5 ways to Sunday. They'll kill you. And he meant it. He knew you don't mess. Listen, they don't mess with our corrupt dealings. Hunter Biden with Ukraine, Russia, and China, and Joe Biden and his brother Jim Biden and his wife, all their little shell deals, and Nancy Pelosi and her husband's insider trading. Yeah, intelligence, FBI, DOJ, they'll look a blind eye to all that, as long as you let them do what they do. Like tell us there's weapons of mass destruction to get us into a war in Iraq, for example. You don't mess with the intelligence community. That part of the swamp he did not understand. He could not grasp around his head. There's people in our government that hate the American way of life. And I'm going to address this, why they are this way and how we can change that. This is a positive video. I just got to show my critics why we see this so clearly. So from day one, a former Obama head of national security, General Flynn, who by both sides, Democrats and Republicans, said this general is the best we got in national security. This guy will secure our country. He knows what's going on. He told Trump, they're spying on you. Trump's like, what? He said, yeah, the Obama administration's been spying on you since your campaign. I don't know why. And they're spying on you now. Trump said that. The media laughed at him, called him ridiculous, tried to make Flynn to be this goofball when he's one of the most intelligent guys we had in our military, one of the most decorated military generals we had. And they just made him look like a goofball. That's what the media does. They actually try to make Ben Carson look stupid. And Ben Carson is actually a brain surgeon, but this is what the media does. They don't debate ideas. The left, the Marxists in this country, cannot debate ideas. All they can do is destroy people. They destroy people. And they've been trying to destroy Donald Trump, like I said in the video the other day, since he came out of the escalator the Ark of Baal, where 5,000 years ago they were sacrificing babies to Baal, collapsed. So, but I'm getting off track, I'm digressing. But why? From the very beginning, they attacked him. Once they got rid of Flynn, they knew they had him. And the way they got rid of Flynn was his friends. And Comey admitted this on a talk show. He laughed about it, he joked about it. He goes, yeah. I said, hey, call them up. You know, these guys, you're friends with them. Call them up. You know, see if you could get them, entrap them in something. He didn't use the word entrapment. He said, but, you know, see if you can get them to talk. So they asked Comey as friends, hey, can we come up and talk to you? 2 FBI agents. This is all fact. Nobody's denying this. And you guys, most of you guys know this because you're informed, but I'm talking to my critics here real quick. Hey, General, can we come up and talk to you? And he's like, do I need a lawyer? He goes, no, it's just, just friends talking. He's like, yeah, come on up. Goes up to the White House, and they ask him, hey, have you been talking to the Russians at all? Which would not be illegal. It would make sense. Every national security advisor will do that. Obama's, Clinton's, Bush, right? That's what they do. It's not illegal. But he said no, which is technically like a misdemeanor crime, lying to the FBI. But he's thinking he's just talking to friends. He don't need to tell them this. So he says no. Well, then they come back at him, and they're going to hit him with this crime, this misdemeanor, lying to the FBI, or maybe it's a felony, And he's like, what are you talking about? We were just having a conversation. I didn't think that was a big deal. They said, well, your son's taxes are a big deal. You want to see your son spend 10 years in jail? And then they use what the left uses. It's called lawfare. It's warfare, but they use the law. And they come at you with our taxpayer money, spend millions of dollars, so you got to spend millions of dollars to defend yourself. General Flynn had to mortgage his house, or actually I think he sold his house and moved in with his daughter. They broke this guy. He was well off, but he wasn't a millionaire or billionaire. And he finally just admitted it. So he had to resign. Now, once they had this guy out, then they went after him. And we know now, hindsight, we all knew it, but we didn't have the evidence. Now even the mainstream media omits the evidence that the FBI agents lied on a FISA warrant, gave it to a FISA judge. The FISA judge was pissed off when he found out they lied, to get them to spy on Donald Trump, like he said, during his campaign, plus his campaign people, his advisors, and even after. And they use lawfare to break this guy, Carter Page, who now we know he's innocent. He was a businessman that did a lot of business in Russia, but because he was a patriot, he was also an informant for the CIA. And they knew this. And they lied and said, oh, he's talking to the Russians. But they used their lawfare to break this guy financially. But in the long run, he won, and now he's suing some people. So we know the FBI lies to destroy Trump. It's proven. We've seen it. I just gave you some classic examples. I can go on and on all day, but most of you guys know this. On the other hand, they lie, or they take inaction to protect those on their side. Hillary Clinton had 30,000 emails illegally on her personal phone that she wouldn't turn over. They told her, you need to turn over. She never turned them over. And they couldn't raid her phone because she uses this software. I called it a chemical by mistake in the last video, but they use a software called BleachBit that the mafia uses to remove all her information, and then they smash the computers and smash their phones. So there's 30,000 emails. We don't know what's on them. But the FBI, Comey, the head of the FBI, came out publicly, said, we know at least 11 of them were the top highest secret, and her phones were hacked by the communists. We know this. What she did was totally illegal, but we don't prosecute, people that, secretaries of states, there's no prosecutor's going to take this on, so I'm not going to file charges. Wouldn't even file charges. Hunter Biden. This guy came out and said Hunter Biden came in all high on crack and drunk and left his computer. And we got a 60-day policy. You don't pick it up, 60 days is our property. So out of curiosity, I looked at it, and I've seen all these dealings, him, his father, his uncle, everything we knew about the Bidens, the most corrupt politician that we've had for the past 50 years. He had the evidence. He handed over to the FBI, but he kept copies somehow. He made copies of everything he handed to the FBI. After 2 years and the FBI not doing anything, he called Rudy Giuliani. Rudy Giuliani took it, showed it to the New York Post. They put it on Twitter 2 weeks before the election. Twitter said it's fake news. And Joe Biden got 50 national security guys to lie and say this is Russian disinformation. No, they said it appears to be Russian disinformation. So the media ran out. 50 head of security guys are saying this is Russian disinformation. Trump needs to stop saying this. We're not going to repeat this lie. So no one would report it, which would have probably changed the election. And even Chris Wallace wouldn't let Trump talk about it, and which made Trump furious and, made him lose his control. And people were like, see, this guy's out of control in the debate with Biden. Because the night of the debate, Joe Biden's business partner, Bobulinski, came out and said, yeah, these emails are true. I've done business with Joe. I've done business with Hunter. We do business with Ukraine, Russia, China. And it's shady. And I feel guilty. And I'm a patriot. I'm a former Navy officer. And once I realized what we were doing was wrong, I want to come public. So you had that whistleblower. Then just a week ago, Chuck Grassley, who's no MAGA guy, he's like a moderate establishment Republican, told the head of the FBI, just like a week ago, I have several informants, FBI informants, telling me the FBI is hiding evidence on Biden, Hunter Biden. They're hiding evidence on Clinton, but they're going after Trump. It's a political hit job. They're about to go after him. And he was right. A week later, they raid Trump's house. And the news, and this is another thing. Very interesting. They released the warrant, which they normally don't do. But you know why they released the warrant? Because when they played this game, another thing with those fake FISA documents, they got the judge to spy on Trump. These same people lied and said Trump had some kind of deal with the Ukraine president. We heard the phone call. And so normally presidents don't release their private phone calls. Trump said, I didn't do anything wrong, and released it that day, caught the Democrats off guard. So in the hearings that were live on TV, Adam Schiff read something he said was the text from the phone call, and it was totally a lie. And I was like, what is he? This is a lie. How come anybody's calling him out? Finally, a Republican said, that's not what, we all got the text in front of us. What are you reading? He goes, well, it's parody. No, he said, no, it's a lie. He goes, no, it's parody. But the media, the lying liberal media, just played Adam Schiff's parody. They didn't tell anybody it was all a lie, and he admitted it was a lie. Trump's released a phone call because it was nothing. If you listen to the phone call, it was nothing. You would expect him to talk like that to another leader of a state. But the Democrats used it, took it out of context, the media ran with it, and they impeached him over this. So this is what they do. So they knew, okay, the way Trump knows he's innocent, he's going to show the public the warrant. So they said, we're going to release the warrant to the public. So they both released the warrant to the public. And supposedly, they've gotten some classified documents. But this is what the media isn't talking about. He's had these documents since he left, 1.5 years, sitting in the closet. And when they asked for him months ago, he said, yeah, they're right in there. Take whatever you want. He went and had his lunch. Hey, you guys want some lunch? Literally, this is how it went down. They took some documents and they said, we're going to have to come back and review the rest. You need to put a lock on this closet. So he put a lock on the closet. Then they come back, they raid the house, they break the lock. He has lawyers on the premises, and they tell him, no, you can't watch what we're doing. So this is why I will not doubt if they plant anything there. And what's their motivation? Their motivation is this. Now Trump knows how deep the swamp is. He's going to come after the community. When he became president last time, I knew he was making a mistake because I'm just a political nerd. I'm no political scholar, but I'm a political nerd since I'm a teenager, and I pay attention. And every president in my lifetime, within the first couple days, they tell all the United States attorneys, there's usually like 150 or 200, I think, they tell them all you need to resign, and they all resign. Reagan did it, Bush did it, Clinton did it, Obama did it, Trump didn't do it. And a lot of people are like, why didn't he do it? He trusts these guys? These are all Obama-appointed U.S. attorneys. Why is he trusting these guys? Because he's a businessman, number one. And when you take over a business, a smart businessman doesn't fire everybody. you keep people that are used to being there. You bring in your people, be trained by these people, and they work together. That's how business works in America. Because you can trust people. If they're working for you, they want your company to succeed. But that's not how these people in government work. These people hate America. They said make America great was racist. They said putting America first was racist. Think about that. So before I get to the great news, I'm going to tell you what they're afraid of. Now Donald Trump knows this one. He's going to come. He's going to make all those attorneys, when he gets elected in 24, he's going to make all those attorneys resign. And then he's going to go down. He's got to at least go 3 deep down, firing people and putting his own people that he trusts. That's number one. These tariffs that he had on China, that Biden got rid of because he got all these deals with China, he's going to put them back out. So that's number two they're afraid of. I submit to you, the only way we're going to reform the FBI, I made a video about this years ago when Trump was still president. The only way he's going to reform the FBI, yeah, you got to chop off the head of all these wicked men that hate America, but you also got to get down in the bottom. And why do we keep having all these anti-American people in the FBI? And they're law enforcement. And it's very rich for Kamala Harris to say, oh, why are you attacking law enforcement? No, we're attacking the lies that they say, not law enforcement people, because you know what? It was the first time in history that every police union in the United States backed one party. They backed Donald Trump. Okay? So the police love Donald Trump. The military always 80% vote Republican. The military loves Donald Trump. Why does the FBI and all these intelligence agencies hate Donald Trump? I'll tell you. Because you need a 4-year degree to be an FBI agent, a CIA agent, any federal government agency. You need a 4-year degree. So these kids go in there, and 90% of these professors, you can go on their Facebook. I've done it. My kids have showed me they're Marxists. They're not just liberal, like old school liberals like Bill Maher and Joe Rogan. No, these guys are Marxists that hate America, teaching our kids they hate America. So you're getting these young kids that are they think America's evil, they think America's racist, they think America's unfair, they love socialism, they think communism is better. They're the guys trying to protect us. So you get a real American that believes in capitalism, believes in the American way, the American culture. He's the enemy. This is why they attack him. So how do we beat this? So you can have a 4-year degree, but that's not the requirement. The requirement is 4 years military service, 4 years law enforcement, or a 4-year degree. And that happens out here in the real world. I compete against guys with colleges, and I've taken a police test with guys that had advanced degrees, and I've literally aced the test 100%, and these guys have failed because they don't know real life stuff that you need to know as a cop. So if we pick from a pool where I know a lot of cops, and they love Trump, that it's like they voted like 98% for Trump. So we're pulling from that pool of Trump lovers, American patriots that love America. Same thing with the military. As these guys go up in rank and Trump places really smart, patriotic men on the top, he can promote from within guys that they know are patriotic based on their background, their experience, and their interviews, and their merit. Let's see, are you arresting criminals, or are you just always going after political jobs? So that's how you reform the FBI. And it's very rich for Kamala Harris to tell us it's horrible that we're condemning law enforcement. And like I said, every union backed Trump because they were afraid. They didn't like Biden. They hated Kamala Harris because during the riots of the Summer of Love that the liberals called, where Black Lives Matter and Antifa were murdering cops, more cops got injured that summer, more small businesses got destroyed, more people it was just riots all summer long. When Kamala Harris was saying we needed to fund the cops, Kamala Harris was encouraging people to donate to a GoFundMe to get people out of jail that went to jail. And then that GoFundMe that Kamala Harris told people on Twitter to donate got a guy who assaulted the cop out, and that guy killed somebody. So she's responsible for an assault on a cop and a murder. So don't tell me, why are you condemning law enforcement? That is very, very rich. Takes kahunas to do that. But my point is, we're just looking at the evidence. We're looking at the evidence. We know they lied to the FISA court. We know they lied to Congress, and none of them paid the price. They're all working. Some of them got good gigs at CNN reporting on integrity and corruption. The most corrupt guys in government are reporting. CNN, MSNBN. You see all these losers, McCabe and all these losers on there. Comey. So this is why we distrust. Now, why do we love Trump? Oh, you guys are Christians. Why do Christians love Trump so much? He's so immoral. In the Old Testament, and there's harbingers in the Old Testament, just like that foresee what's going to happen in the future. And there was a harbinger in the Old Testament. Jezebel was fighting to be the queen of this nation. And she promised Israel that she would bring back Baal worship and child sacrifice. And then the Bible describes this hot, bloody, irreligious guy called Jehu, who said he'll be king and he'll destroy all the temples of Baal and he'll outlaw killing babies for child sacrifice. And the religious leaders of Israel, it says, supported Jehu, and Jehu became king and kept his word. That was a harbinger of Hillary Clinton, Jezebel, promised it. And Donald Trump was the first person that got her to say it out loud, their little secret, out loud. I see it in the Democrat debate, in the general debate with her. Donald Trump said, Hillary Clinton wants to allow abortion through the entire pregnancy, even when that lady's in the hospital and that baby's in the canal. Tell him. And she admitted it. He got her to admit it. Donald Trump said, I'm going to elect 2, maybe 3 Supreme Court judges, and we're going to overturn Roe v. Wade. And he did it. That's why we love Trump. When Trump came in office, Obama said, we need to transition to electrical cars and bicycles. They want us to ride bicycles and horse and buggies, these Democrats. Why they fly around in jets and yachts. He said, I have no problem with $6, $7, even $8 a gallon gas, but we got to get there gradually. Why he's going to drive his limo, fly his jets, build a beautiful house on the beach. Two beach houses he has, by the way. Think about that. Donald Trump said, no, we got more oil in America than Saudi Arabia. We're going to become energy independent. And he got our gas down below $2. Obama brought it up over $4. And now he's bragging he got it under $4. Actually, Obama brought it up over $5. This is why we love Donald Trump. Biden is just a tax and spend government, just a tax and spend Democrat. We just seen it. They just did another tax and spend bill just a couple days ago here. And based on their policies on oil and taxing and spending, inflation is 9%. The average blue-collar wage went up 2%. So the average blue-collar guy under Biden lost 7% in wages. Under Trump, reverse. Inflation was 2%. The average blue-collar wages went up 9%. And I've seen it firsthand. And even though my boss, who was a union guy who hated Trump, said, yeah, because of Trump's tax cuts, they're giving you a raise. 2% inflation, 9% raise in a blue-collar wage on average, gave us blue-collar guys a 7% wage. Another reason we love Donald Trump. Wars breaking out all over the world since Biden's been here. Trump's had 5 peace deals signed in the Middle East. That's why we love Donald Trump. I can go on, and I'm going to make a video for the general election because Donald Trump's going to be running again. But I'm just going to say this. What's the good news? What's the great news this video is about? I'm telling you all the problems and why we love Trump. What's the great news? Here's the good news. We know all they got is documents. They're saying they're top secret. You know, I was in the Navy. I had a secret clearance. The stuff I seen that was secret, I'm like, this is really secret? They overclassify everything. Everyone knows this in government. They overclassify. So he's got some top secret. Even if he does, every president, this is a fact. Like I said, I'm a political nerd. Every president always takes documents they're not supposed to take, and the National Archives always ask for them back. Bill Clinton was the worst offender. He took 35,000 documents, many of them classified. Archives asked him for it back. To date, he's given a third, like 10,000, maybe 11,000 back. No raid, not even a subpoena. They just let it go because it's such a low-level offense. You see, because the president, when he's president, he is the ultimate consumer. It's classified for him. So if he thinks it's overclassified, he could declassify it or bring it to a lower classification. If he thinks it needs to be classified, he can make it classified just by saying, this is classified. So all those documents, whether they're stamped classified or not, All he had to say is, I declassified them before I took them. That's all he's got to say. And they know this. This is why I'm not worried. But they're so wicked and they're so afraid of this man that I'm sure they're going to indict him, and they may even arrest him. But there's enough honest judges. I know there's a lot of corrupt judges, like that magistrate that, the Epstein dude, the guy who supported Epstein, the guy who's a major Democrat donor who signed this warrant. I know there's a lot of bad judges like that dude, but there's a lot of good judges. You see, not only did Trump put in 3 originalist judges in Supreme Court, he put hundreds throughout the federal courts. So there'll be a judge that will overturn this, and he'll be free. And you're already seeing in the polls. I said in my video the other day, I have friends that were on the fence thinking, maybe DeSantis is a fresher face, he's a much better talker, and he's just as, he's just as patriotic as Trump, and he's right on all the issues. Maybe it's time for him. And I wouldn't mind voting for him either. But now we all agree, no. We got to get Trump back. We cannot allow this to become a banana republic where you destroy your political opponent. No, just on principle. And I'm not alone. It's saying like 70% of independents are agreeing Trump's got to go in. So we are going to beat him in the midterms, and then Trump's going to be president, and we're going to clean house. That's the great news. And I'm telling you, this is going to happen. And the reason this is going to happen is because so many Christians have been praying. Catholic Christians and Protestant Christians have been praying for this country for a long time. And this is the promise we have in 2 Chronicles 7:14. Says this in the Bible. If my people, which are called by my name, shall humble themselves and pray, and seek my face, and turn from their wicked ways, then I will hear from heaven, and will forgive their sin, and I will heal their land. And there's going to be some critics saying, well, that's a specific thing for Israel. Well, the church is the new Israel. The church is the new Israel, based on the Bible and what the church has always believed since her infancy. We are the new Israel. The people of God scattered throughout this great country of America are the new Israel. And we know that we've sinned. We know that we have allowed abortion. And millions of us has repented of our wicked ways. Millions of us has turned from our ways and followed Jesus. And we know he heard from heaven and he is healing our land, because Roe v. Wade is a miracle. Getting that overturned is a miracle. That is just the beginning. In 2024, getting a man that will support the life of the unborn, getting a man that will support religious freedom. And just like Winston Churchill said of himself, I'm not a very good parishioner, but I'm the best protector of the parish. Trump will be the first one to say he's not a very religious man. He's made a lot of mistakes, but he knows that he needs to protect the freedom of religion. Because in every communist and socialist dictatorship, once they get rid of the freedom of religion and the right to bear arms and the freedom of speech, you're done. And they're the 3 things the left is attacking. And they're the 3 things that Donald Trump will stand up for. Like Jehu in the Old Testament, hot-blooded as he was and irreligious as he was, got rid of Baal worship. Donald Trump got Roe v. Wade overturned. So our part as Christians, whether you're a Catholic Christian or a Protestant Christian, is to support this pro-life man. And we need to just support him with our votes. If you got money to donate, but he's doing great. He just set record fundraising because people realize this is scary. Especially my friends from Venezuela and Cuba. They're like, whoa, my friend, he's just a blue collar guy. He said, I've never donated to anybody. And I just sent $50 to Trump. I'm telling you, the people that have lived outside of this country know this is the greatest country on earth. They know it. And that's the great news. There's a lot of patriots. A lot of patriots will support Trump. Trump is going to win. Don't get afraid when they indict him. Don't get nervous when he gets arrested. He can handle it. I don't think anybody else could. I don't think anybody could handle what him and his family have gone through. Since he come down the elevator, he's had to spend about $100 million because of this lawfare to defend himself and his families. And the lies, and then you see the lies be uncovered and nobody's held accountable. How frustrating. I don't think there's any other man on this planet that could withstand what this dude has withstood. So this is great news. He's going to be reelected. We're going to win the House, maybe the Senate this time, but definitely next time we'll have the Senate. And you know what? At the end of the day, no matter what happens, our kingdom is in heaven. So we're given the responsibility here as Americans to partake. You know, James said faith without works is dead. We got to work, try and protect our rights. But at the end of the day, if everything is taken from us, if these socialists, if the Biden regime socialists win, they take away our religious rights, they take away our gun rights, they take away our freedom of speech, they can't take away our faith. God bless and stay Catholic.